Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to just do a real quick 10-minute review of what Talk Accounting is. And if you have interest in attending one of our upcoming seminars on this for an accounting, bookkeeping, tax firm, then just send me an email and we'll follow up with links to order entry or answer any questions. So anyway, here's the story. Right now, the reason it's so hard to make money in accounting is because clients cause all of our chaos. Matter of fact, clients uh, send us stuff in so many different ways, so many different, whether it's accurate or not, they're never on time. And because of this, whether you're doing tax returns or write-up or full service accounting, all the chaos in our firm comes from the client getting us information so that we can get it posted into the proper software. 80% of all of our costs are associated with getting accurate data posted into your software. Once it's in the software, doing a tax return or a write-up or delivering a financial statement, it's a piece of cake. If it's in there accurately, it just takes nothing once you have everything in the software to deliver this. The problem we've got is clients don't get it to us on time. So Talk intercepts a transaction when the moment the client affects something like a sales order or an expense or a mileage event. Talk intercepts that and codes it using low-cost labor in your office, but we intercept it, convert it to a PDF, put it on a college student's desk in your office who might work 2 hours a day, and they verify the coding and then import it directly into the accounting software at 300 transactions an hour, and it costs a dime. And what that means is that you've just removed 80 to 95% of your workload to do any client work because things are done on time, real time, all year long. Tax returns are a snap. You just export out of accounting right into tax, and it's right. So all you have to do is make adjusting entries for depreciation, that sort of thing, or for delivering a monthly write-up at the end of the month. When you go to click the reconciliation, it takes less than 1 minute because everything's already coded. It's in there. It's right. And so for example, a write-up might cost you $20 in your accounting office today. Full service bookkeeping, you can probably do that in between 10 and 15 minutes a day for a client. And that's a client you're charging $1,000 a month for, maybe $695, maybe $1,500. But 10 minutes a day is all it's going to take because all the transactions got captured, coded, and imported either by automatic systems or by a $10 an hour college student working an hour or two at the end of the day. And they could even be somebody that works from home. It doesn't have to be in your office. It won't necessarily take 2 hours when you start out, but it's going to be so cheap and easy. If you have an interest in this, then we should talk more. But let's go on just a little bit longer, and I'll tell you a few more things. Now, we know that robots are coming. And this automation movement is happening every day. The kiosks at the McDonald's, Uber now has robot-driven cabs in the city of Pittsburgh. There's even a company down here in Tucson that has a robot making pizzas. It can make a delicious pizza in a matter of seconds. The thing moves like a rocket. And so robots are coming, and they're going to affect accounting. Well, Talk is an automated system. Well, you might call it a robot, and it does workflow management. What that means is you know exactly what's coming in from what client. It automatically assigns it to your staff people, load levels, if you want it to, and then you'll know exactly who's working on what and how long it took them and any problems they occurred that might have occurred in the work process, and all the notes and time and date stamps are all included on everything that a client does. The second thing is it's a paperless office. So when clients send over things by taking a picture with their mobile phone or with their scanner, you no longer have documents. No documents ever get into your office. No paper ever gets into your office. And as long as you're smart enough to tell your people to stop printing paper and use dual monitors to read documents, you're done. There is no more paper. And the nice thing about this paperless system is that when client documents come in, they attach with all the notes, all the collaboration, all the time and date stamps, right into QuickBooks or Xero. It attaches right into the software. So now your client sees they owed $88 to the electric company. They can actually drill down and look at the electric bill all automatically. And it'll assign tasks. So when we bring in a new client, especially a full service client, we know we've got about 25 things that we've got to do for that client every month. Make sure the credit card bills paid the minimum on the 15th. Make sure we download the eBay account on the 25th, that sort of thing. So it automatically posts those daily tasks on the day they're due to the workflow of the person that's supposed to do them. So when my staff comes in, they never have to remember everything. It's all right in front of them. And if they don't get it done, I know it by watching the workflow management dashboard. This automatic data capture happens when the people use a debit card or a credit card or handwrite a check. We're capturing that data out there in the Federal Reserve wire and putting it right into the system. We're coding all these transactions, some automatically, they code themselves. Others are coded by voice recognition. That's where we get this 300 transactions an hour. And it goes right straight into the software. Oh, and by the way, the mileage tracking is phenomenal. When you get out of the car, there's a little dongle we put underneath the dash of your car. It's real simple to install. It takes about 30 seconds. And when you get out of the car, without using the GPS on your phone, you'll get a text message. And the text will say, I see you just drove 11 miles to Walmart. Was that business or personal or charity? And they just touch a button, business, and then the phone talks. And the phone says, can you tell me what the 11-mile trip was for? And the client just says, hey, I went over here to buy a box of copy paper. Thank you. Because it analyzed the voice, converted it to text, posted the transaction, and the last thing it tells the client, I'll log your $5.85 tax deduction immediately. So the client's being reminded all day long that they were darn lucky to pick you as their accountant. And now they'll be able to actually get real-time dashboard reports of what's going on in their business that are 100% accurate on their phone anytime they want. So here's a big reason this is so important. In the past, when you did a transaction for a client, if it was bookkeeping, your average billing was somewhere in the range of about $3 to $4. If you're doing tax return work, your average transaction, that means I did a line item into a software, you're billing the client about $10 per transaction. Now, here's what's so exciting. You're going to be doing 300 transactions an hour. And even at just $3 a transaction, what you've already been billing, your realized collection rate could jump up into the $900 per hour range using artificial intelligence and a college student, which is costing you a total of $10 an hour, and I get 10 cents a transaction. So the profit margins in doing work are going to blow through the roof. And the nice thing about this college student using artificial intelligence and voice activation is that in just 2 hours, at $10 an hour, they can do the exact same amount of bookkeeping as a 3 full-time bookkeepers. So 24 hours of labor at a burden rate in your office. Probably your burden rate is running about $40 total per hour for each labor unit. We're going to replace that 24 hours with 2 hours. It's that fast. And when it comes time to do the books at the end of the month, we've got a 99% match on those reconciliations. It only takes 1 minute. And if the client's got back work, we can do 3 hours of back work with this type of automation in 6 to 8 hours. And that is phenomenal. The system will go out and download the bank records for the last 3 years, import them into QuickBooks. Some will be automatically coded by QuickBooks. The others will come back up on the college student's desk, and she'll be able to nail them out at 300 transactions an hour. It's going to take very little time to nail back work now. And if you ever have a question, that was on the dongle. We can skip those slides. If you ever have a question for the client, It's so simple that all you do is just click on the transaction. Like, let's say the electric bill's out of whack. You click on the transaction, you talk into your microphone and say, I don't understand why your electric bill is 25 bucks. It's usually 200 bucks. And then delegate. In a few moments, a client gets a text on their phone and says, hey, why is your electric bill so cheap this month? Now, the client hadn't told us they went to solar, but they're excited that we were astute enough to catch this. They just tap the phone and start talking. They don't type. They just talk, say, hey, we switched to solar, so the price is going to go down from now on. And it's that simple. It goes right back to the bookkeeper's workstation, and his comments, the client's comments, are coded right on the transaction. We can go ahead and approve that bill and set it up for payment. If a client goes to lunch, you're going to know who they were with and why they went to lunch for that $86 American Express bill. They go out to the ATM and pull $200 out in the afternoon. You're going to know they used that 200 bucks in cash to pay some day laborers on the construction site, and you'll be able to code that by the end of the day. No more phone calls. Even handwritten checks are going to be the same way. They're going to take a little bit longer to come in because they've got to actually be deposited by the person that grabbed the handwritten check. But so it might take 24 to 48 hours before that transaction comes through. But you're going to be able to get these coded without a lot of hassle and headache and asking the client, what'd you do it? Even if you do have to ask the client, it's simply talk to the computer screen. The computer texts the client talks back to their smartphone, and the whole thing is settled in 10 seconds. It is so smooth, but the best part of all is being able to give that client real-time feedback. And here's what happened in my wife's practice. When we started giving real-time feedback to the client on how their business was doing, and did it once a day or several times a day, and then we followed that up with a weekly phone call. Here's what's really interesting. Every one of my wife's clients grew an average of 25% a year. And at the end of 5 years, every single one of them had a business they could have sold for more than $1 million. They all became millionaires. Using numbers every day is that impactful on our clients. Our clients don't know this. Of course, that's really our fault. They don't know this, and they don't have good, accurate numbers. Most of the time, it's they hear things like, well, I got to catch up. I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't get that. We didn't do this. I got that coded incorrectly. So when business owners hear that kind of thing, they stop looking at their numbers. They don't use them properly, so they don't have those increases that from good management, focusing on the 20% of what works, that makes 80% of their money. They spend way too much time working on squeaky wheels when they should be working on cash cows. So it's all working because of electronic data interchange. That means that information is coming through from the Federal Reserve or the bank already coded, going straight into the accounting. It works on voice recognition when there's anomalies. Most of that is done by a college student at 300 transactions an hour. If anything can't be done by the college student, if it doesn't look right to the system, it won't go into the accounting software. It goes to the bookkeeper's desk, who can do the review before it actually goes into accounting. All this is based on artificial intelligence. If we're watching what the client does, then we can affect what they're going to do in the future. We can predict so that we can rapidly do their work. And of course, it's all on the cloud, on the Amazon backbone, accessed from your office. There is no offshoring using talk. And this is the sales pitch that we give business owners. If you've got a scanner and a phone, you no longer need a bookkeeper. That's it. That's what I tell them. That's the whole pitch. You got a scanner? Yep. Do you have a phone? Yep. You don't need a bookkeeper. You're paying her $30,000 a year, plus she's costing you another $30,000, $40,000 in overhead. Why don't you put that $70,000 in the bank and let us do your books? And it's going to be anywhere from $300 a month, $700 a month, $1,500 a month, depending on how complicated the client is. But by that point, you're in the meeting and you're sitting down talking to them, going over numbers. At that point, you're negotiating price. You're not trying to get the meeting. And that's all there is to it. So if you'd like to know more, send me an email. My address is casey@autocap.com. What we'll do is send you a 4-page flyer on our next upcoming seminar where we actually show you this work in real time. My staff comes along. They'll actually help you install it and set it up. And then if you like it, you can keep using it. It's 10 cents a transaction. But we'll even show you how we found so many clients and give you, over the course of the first couple of months we'll work together, we'll give you all of our training, all of our collateral material, all of our sales systems that we used to build a multi-million-dollar outsourced monthly bookkeeping business in California between '07 and '12, and the technology we used wasn't even a tenth as good as what Talk can do today after 5 years of artificial intelligence. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. Please feel free to send me an email, and we will talk to you soon. Bye now.